window well, and then the pipe is brought down through the cement, into the new drain tile system. So the problem that I had before of the window wells filling up with water and the water streaming into the basement can never happen anymore. This is where all the storage shelves had been along this wall here, and of course they were all moved by Platinum Restoration, and now it's free to put up new shelving or whatever else I would like to do. Another example of another window well with a drain. And here in the corner, that's my water coming into the house. It's always been there, of course. And here is the new sump pump. Let's see, from the ground up, that goes up and out of the house, and then 15 feet out under the front lawn, down 1 foot, a 6-inch pipe extends to a little basin, a 12-inch diameter basin, which takes the excess water and will bubble it up through the grass if need be. This is the backup to the pump, and both the backup and the new sump pump are plugged into this outlet where I went to the store and I bought these extra converters from 2 plugs to 3 plugs. This really should be replaced because it needs to be grounded, and the lines for the water pump the sump pump need to be dedicated. I don't think this one is dedicated. I haven't determined that yet, but probably not dedicated line. And this is the old kind of line that I understand there's better ways of doing this today, and this might be or I guess it is corroded a little bit. I don't know if that hurts anything. And this is the hearthstone rather from the fireplace that they've just left balanced on 2 of their buckets that they left with me, and there's a couple of the cinder blocks that were holding it up in place. So there's electrical, finishing work that really should be done, because these cords are just hanging down precariously and just about decapitate a person if they're not paying attention and walking across. And they taped some of them up for me so that they're just hanging like a piece of sculpture or something. But that should be taken care of. Yeah, and so as one can see, all the paneling that used to be here on the other side of the fireplace, and the cabinetry and the fireplace paneling itself, everything is gone. And if I ever finish this part of the basement, that should be fixed, obviously. And this is the high part of the ceiling here on this side of the basement. But when you move to the south side of the basement, you see that the ceiling is lowered, and that's because of the furnace duct work. And I don't think there's much one can do about that. So it just has to be a lower ceiling, which, if I reach up, I can reach with my hand without going on tiptoe. So that's definitely a lowered ceiling, which is probably why they had put the bar here with bar stools, so you would just kind of walk over here and sit on the bar stools. And so in this area of the basement over here where all the shelving units were, it's only this one area, well, 2 areas, I guess. This one little area here that's a little bit lower because of the ductwork, and then, I guess that area too, and then there against the wall. But this whole area here is a little bit higher. I understand that I could, and this is actually the support up here for the house. You know, you can see that that's a big support beam, solid support beam. You know, all there. And perhaps if I ever did put a ceiling down here, I could just have the ceiling, you know, come down around that part and then up again. I don't know. I have to have somebody take a look at it if someday I decide to do that. So that's the result done on the basement. They did an excellent job. It was a lot of work. It was 3 days of work. The second day was raining the entire day. They opened up that window well window, and as they were jackhammering for 4 hours, all the cement, they would put it into buckets and then carry it up through that window well. When the new stones that lined the bottom of the trench and on top of the drain tile came down through that window, through a wheelbarrow through that window. And so did the cement, the wet cement, and so did the coil, the window, the drain tile coil. Everything came down through that window, so it made it less dirty. But, you know, there's not much you can do with all that cement dust from the jackhammering. It does travel up and through the house. Even though I kept the heat off for those 3 days, still, you know, there's no helping, no stopping it. So a very fine level of dust is upstairs. I left the linoleum tile in place, and that if I ever do put a flooring down here, it'll be, I guess, what they call a floating floor, just placed over this floor, because this is 9 by 9 inch tile, and if you break it apart in trying to remove it, possibly it's an asbestos tile made with asbestos, which means you'd have to have the hazmat people here to do that, and that would be many thousands of dollars of work, which I wasn't interested in paying. Therefore, I left all the linoleum tile, which is only on this half of the basement anyway, and that would, as I said, if I ever did fix up part of the basement, that would be covered by what they call a floating floor, a floor right over it, so you would not be disturbing the linoleum. And, you know, the stairs, like I said, they're not in the greatest shape. Here's, you know, kind of a close-up of the stairs. They still, of course, have all the nails in them from the carpeting that was on the stairs. And, you know, there's even like a big knot hole here. I don't know if that hurts the stair or not. They left the wallboard up here, which I think is fine, you know, on the ceiling at the top of the stairwell and on the sides of the stairwell. That, I'm sure, didn't have any